In our last example, it's pretty much the same thing, but a little bit more complicated, so I thought we better do one like this. Martin bought a bank shaped like a square pyramid. He wants to calculate its volume. Okay, so it's a pyramid, so we're going to say the volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. I want to find the volume of the pyramid in terms of x, so notice we've got some variables here, and I want to find the volume if x equals 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of my base. Now the area of my base is it's a square, so I just take 8x and I square that in terms of x, so I get 64x squared. And that sounds pretty simple so far. However, we don't know the height, do we? That's what makes this problem a little bit more interesting, because what happens is I know the slant height, but I don't know the height. Now, if I look at my triangle here I just drew, and I drew in the height at a 90-degree angle. Since it's a square, I know I'm going to go to the center, so it'll give me 4x. And in this case, my hypotenuse is 5x. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. In this case, I'll get 5x squared equals to 4x squared plus h squared. So I really just got to spend most of my time in this problem finding h. So if I do that, notice I get 25x squared equals 4x, try that again, not 4, 16x squared plus h squared. And then if I subtract 16 from both sides, I'll get 9x squared equals h squared. Take the square root of both sides, we get 3x for the length of the height. So in other words, I get 1/3 times 64x squared, because that's my base. My height, I just found, is 3x. So when I do that, if I take 64x squared, and know my 3's reduce, so my volume in terms of x is 64x cubed, because all I do is x squared times x, I get x cubed. Then I'll replace x with 4. So I'll get 64 times 4 cubed, which as it turns out is 64. And 64 times 64 is 4,096. And then, do we have any units? In cubic inches. They told us in the problem. We just had to read the problem to get our answer. They didn't tell us anyplace else. And there is your answer. So sometimes you might have to put it in terms of x. There's 2 answers here. And when you take a test or a quiz, I got to see both those answers with the work, not just the answer. And now we have some more complicated problems that you're going to do on your assignment. And that's why I'm giving you plenty of time to work on this.